Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena we're taking a quick look in best of one at a Boar God Reanimator deck. Ilharg the Razor Boar, 3 red legendary creature Boar God. Mythic, it's very metal. 6/6 trample. When it attacks, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Return the creature card to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. And God Claws for this set. When your creature dies or is put into exile, you may put it back in your library third from the top. So the idea is to cast the Boar God or reanimate the Boar God, especially with Bond of Revival, which can give it haste, and then attack and put into play a Chromium the Mutable, a Nezahal the Primal Tide, or a Tetsamok the Primal Death. And if you use the black mana to basically put counters on your opponent's creatures and then bring in Tetsamok the Primal Death, you destroy all their creatures. The deck's curve is absurd. To fill the graveyard, we have Chart a Course, Discovery, and Enter the God Eternals, which can kill a creature, amass 4, and mill yourself for 4 and gain 4 life. This is how we stay alive long enough to do cool things. We want to ramp into Enter the God Eternals, fill our graveyard, and then use a reanimation spell to get back a Boar God or other huge thing to take over the game. Ramping us are 2 mana Geodes, which we could have run the Dragon Horde, which would combo with Chromium and sometimes let us draw a card, but I thought the Scry 1 could be more important, making sure that we're going to hit our land drops or find a big monster. And we've got Sailor of Memes, 4 of the Sailor of the Memes, as this deck is quite the spicy meme. So let's go out there and see if we can hasty Boar God some unsuspecting opponents. Our opening hand has 3 lands, a way to try to stack our deck, a Reanimator spell, and the Sailors. I think it's an easy keep. We'll enter this tapped so we have all the mana colors available next turn with the help of Sulphur Falls. And our opponent will start on a tapped Stomping Ground. So, Discovery, what are we looking for? We need 1 more land, we don't need 2. We could bin both and be a little bit greedy. We do have another Discovery, for example, if we miss. And we do have to find some bigger creatures, so I think we need to be a little bit greedy and dig deeper. Drawing another creature is much more likely, or drawing another land is much more likely than a creature, but I'm grateful that we found our creature. Would have liked to have thrown it in the graveyard, but the Boar God does require a creature in hand, so unlike most Reanimator decks, it's not the worst thing to have this available. Dauntless Bodyguard comes in with nobody to protect. Sadness. Let's introduce the Dauntless one to the Sailor of Memes. We get that sick treasure, we get that 1/4 body to block with. We still don't have anything in the graveyard to reanimate yet, but maybe Discovery can fix that. Maybe we can get really bold and do Concoct with nothing in our graveyard and try to find it. Or maybe a Chart, of course, will let us discard the Nezahal. Oh, Nezzy. Still my favorite pet. You haven't been replaced just yet. Here's a Domri. Domri can plus for mana. It also gives a +1/+1/0 Anthem bonus, and it can minus to fight.
We won't answer to other guilds.
Apparently we won't answer to other guilds. Boar off the top. Darn it. Okay, let's go. If I had kept that land, this all would have gone really well, and we could have cast the Boar God here. So, too greedy. These can go to the graveyard. I need to draw a land. I was really banking on it, and we got there. Alright, so we could play it tapped or play another Sailor. Don't think there's anything wrong with another Sailor here. We still need to either dump this in the graveyard for the Bond or put it out there and let the opponent kill it somehow. But regardless, we're about to get into Boar God time. There is a Chromium in the graveyard too that we can resurrect with a Concoct or a Bond of Revival if we choose to take that route. This Domri lacks an ultimate. It's all about fighting. As long as the opponent doesn't have a creature bigger than ours, it's not that scary of a card. Heroic Reinforcements. Oh my. So this is what we do? And now we're fighting? Alright.
That's the sound of a stampede coming straight at ya.
Makes me feel like the opponent has another heroic reinforcements. If we block here, we lose our Sailor means, but the opponent loses their bodyguard. and we take 6, and if we block here we take 7, but we get to keep our Sailor means for future block. I think the Sailor can go. I think that getting the opponent's creature off the board can matter more if they have another heroic reinforcements. Alright. Bring forth my Boar God. I think that's better than concocting to revive a Chromium, which is really hard to block with, because if any damage gets on it and the opponent targets it with something, it could just head straight back to the graveyard. Next turn could be a big attack, though, if we can survive this one. They're coming. Oh, I will block. What shenanigans? Okay. Trades with Boar God. Boar God goes to the graveyard, which isn't a bad place. I could also put it back in the deck, but I'm going to decline. It can stay in the graveyard.
What's that? Something smells rotten. Wait,
So, alright. Oh, we drew Tetsamok. That can be so good next turn. I wonder if I should just get the Boar God back, though, and play around another heroic reinforcements. I could attack the opponent for 13, but next turn I can like wipe their field with Tetsamok. Oh, that's pretty tough. What do you guys suppose the right play is? I mean, it's hard not to Boar God when you can Boar God, am I right? Maybe I get back the Chromium and... no, that's not as good. How do we get all the value from this experience? I think we just have to try... Well, let's do it like this. If the opponent could easily remove the card, they would have done it last turn. All this can go. I guess we'll keep you. Never know when we might want another. Here we go. Boar God returns. Now, if the opponent plays out some creatures, we can Tetsamok them into oblivion. If you don't know what I mean, we'll put a death counter, a prey counter on each of them, and then use the Boar God to play the Tetsamok for free. Uh-oh. Don't touch my Boar God. Okay, Feather. Alright. I suppose that plays with Collision Colossus, and that might be what our opponent's deck is up to. So this can be used at instant speed during our turn. Here we go again. Okay. This could get us to 2 if the opponent has the Collision Colossus. That's so dangerous. If we block, then they're left with a Feather, and we bring back the Boar God, and then they get to attack us for 4, and they kill us next turn. So I need this play. So I have to say no blocks here. Ah, they don't have the Colossus. Oh, I wonder if they just bluffed me. Or, I know, there was probably a plan to fight the Boar God. Anyway, let's see. Alright, no plays. So what I want to do, in case there's an instant speed removal spell, I want to put the trigger on the stack and then use the Tetsamok's ability and then make sure it enters the battlefield, which is a little super cautious. Let's hold full control, though. I mean, it's right in this case. Let's head face. I don't think there's any reason to take out Domri. Fighting my stuff is pretty bad, so trigger on the stack. We'll put a counter here. And put a counter here. And resolve the trigger, and put the Tetsamok Primal Death onto the battlefield, attacking this player. Man, full control has a lot of options, I forget that. But that will wipe the field and get in there. And we'll see if the opponent is... And by the way, we get to keep doing this every turn as long as we have the Boar God. And we'll see if the opponent is ready with a follow-up, some way to do haste. No, they don't have a heroic reinforcements, and we got this. Well, let's put our faith in Charticourse to make this work. Well, right away, I'm not sure which creature to discard, so I'm glad I drew the Discovery. It lets me put off making that decision. Chromium and Discovery. I'll keep another Discovery and we'll put Chromium into the graveyard. Green, blue, do what? Pass turn. Grow Spiral. So we could play the Sailor of Memes, which sort of sets up for drawing a reanimation spell off the top. Why not? Let's go for it. And if we don't draw a reanimation spell off the top, we can Chart a Course and Discovery Dispersal. Don't let your memes be dreams. Bring forth the Sailor. 3 mana. Go. Are you gonna counter my stuff? Are you that lame? All right. Let's try this Discovery and see if it sticks. It does stick. The opponent says resolve, though. Well, wait a minute. If our opponent's going to play counter spells, let's just Nezahal them. So I'm gonna pay 2 life for a blue source anyway. Yeah, let's keep all the land and just ramp to Nezahal. In that case, I don't really want to discard my cards, so we'll use Steam Vents to cast Chart a Course after our Sailor attacks. So, opponent appears to be on something kind of slow and control-y. And they're going to Wizard's Retort this. Alright. Oops. I mean, I guess. If that's what you want. No Wilderness Reclamation. I couldn't be happier. Alright, let's keep jamming with the Sailor of Means. Then I'm going to actually try to enter the God Eternals on my own Sailor, I think, to make a 4/4 and gain 4 life and fill my graveyard. It does leave me down a card, which I could be using with Nezahal, but I think that's worth it. Yeah, I'm sure. The Wizard's Retort implies a Frilled Mystic deck, so we'll see if the opponent has it right here, right now, and they do. It's a little annoying, but getting it out of their hand isn't the worst thing that could happen. Okay, now we're reclamating. Just trying to commit nonsensory. And I'm sure our opponent has some go big stuff they can do. Let's see if they can do anything about Nezahal, the Primal Tide. Play some non-creature spells, please. Yep, they're going to Insight now, because if they do it after the Primal Tide enters, I draw a card. Yep, let's see what you got to deal with this. Normally, the opponent would be like, I'll just draw my deck now. Nezahal complicates the situation. And because of Sailor Means, the opponent can't really, like, tempo clock me by bouncing this and having me draw cards. I can just block with Sailor for a while until they deal with that. So, I don't know where their Wilderness Reclamation deck goes. I don't see red mana for an Expansion Explosion. Okay, we got a baby Krasis on the house. Alright. Second Nezahal. Oh. Let's attack. See what you got. Roar. 7/7. Now, I could try to force a counter out of my opponent. I think that's pretty wise. So we'll go with reveal my Tetsamok. Target... I guess you? Well, if the opponent has a blink of an eye, they want to target this. We'll just target the Mystic then. If they have another Mystic, this is an unfortunate play because that doesn't draw a card from Nezahal. But make them have it. Make them have all the perfect cards, right? The opponent's really tanking on this one. Roar. If they counter, I draw. If they counter with a Frilled Mystic, I'm sad. Seems like the Frilled Mystic would have happened if they had it. So here we go. That all resolved. Here's a Precognitive Perception after all that waiting. Bond of Revival can give whatever's in the graveyard haste, and we have a Chromium. So if that gets to resolve, that's a big problem too. Opponent's showing off so far how many cards they can put in their hand. And here's Mass Manipulation, targeting the Tetsamok. That's really good for our opponent. As now that can block the Primal Tide. But we have another Primal Tide, which the opponent doesn't exactly know about. Connive, concoct. Stealing the Hydroid Crisis I don't think accomplishes much or anything. And let's go in there. Opponent will block with Tetsamok, will play other Nezahal. Unfortunately, there is a window here where the opponent gets to resolve their spells, which is really frustrating. Yep. Now they're going to like Growth Spiral and Insight for certain. I'm going to hold back the land. Some fodder to discard to the Nezahal when it gets targeted by mass manipulation, things like that. Begin the long wait. The long night. The longest winter in history. Alright. Opponent with a nice big Crassus here. Anything else? Maybe they're going to try to clock us? No? Alright. Untap. My turn. It does seem like we're way behind. Even the Nezahal probably can't completely catch us up, but I can try to make them fight a battle that they don't really want to fight over this Hydroid Crisis, which would let me continue to attack with my Nezahal. A Frilled Mystic would be nasty, and they have it. Of course they have it. They always have it. Alright. They say good game. Nothing like some early GGs these days. Quench is a good one. That kind of got me. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, I'll see what they can do. I mean, they did draw a million cards. They should be able to beat me. Okay. Weird. What does that leave me? Let's see if we can get back... See if we can get back a Chromium. Alright, another retort. Another card. A Boar God we can't play this turn, but maybe next turn. Alright. Well, the opponent's sitting back, so I'll keep staring at them if they keep staring at me. What's it gonna be? Or will you do it with the Primal Tide? Do we have a Boar God down here? No, not this time. Oh, okay. Crass is still great. That's just in, everybody. Should probably just attack me. Probably should have done that a while ago, but whatever. I'm sure they had a good reason. If you can't lose the game, there's no reason to worry about attacking too much. Another Boar God. What sadness. We could try to get it back and do a hasty trick or something. Guess that's about all I can really go for. Well, let's try to get the Chromium. See what happens. What's it gonna be? Alright, Chromium's on the battlefield. Let's pass the turn. Chromium doesn't save me. Like, getting the opponent to fight over it and me drawing I don't know what does. But yeah, this game was not particularly close. The Nezahal was interesting, but our opponent just massively outdrew us in this one. And now they're showing off. Fair enough. They give me an oops, which is like, I didn't do anything wrong. So the opponent emote spamming just to be cocky. That's okay. Let them live their life. I'll live mine. Let's see if they're capable of attacking with their creatures without saying good game again. Alright, they did it. Once again, I'd usually record a lot more games to try to show you the highest quality of gameplay, but because I'm on a time crunch, I simply don't have that option. So maybe we'll do another Boar God video in the future. And please tell me what you think of the deck and what I should change, what's wrong with it, what's working for you. Being out of town for this weekend, I'm going to miss a lot of the juicy stuff going on Twitch as people play with the new cards, so I need some ideas of how to improve my very, very early, almost no research whatsoever brews. Thank you very much for watching this video, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment. You can also support the channel on Patreon for special perks. Links are in the description. Our sponsors are HauntedFlower.com and FlipsideGaming.com. Haunted Flower sells officially licensed MTG apparel and accessories, and Flipside Gaming sells MTG cards and supplies. You can save 10% on either site with the promo code CGB, and it supports the channel at the same time. See you next time for another day in the arena. For now, it's me, it's CGB, signing out.